Greetings. In continuation with Alusine Multicultural Family Consulting, today is another intriguing topic, and that topic is a reflective approach to problem solving. Problem solving has basically three phases. You move from an undesirable present situation. You come up with a plan of action, and you produce a satisfactory state of affairs. That's problem solving. In today's presentation, I'm gonna present a problem-solving process, ways we view problems, and the idea that problems can be relational, problems in some cases can be organizational. And we're gonna end with approaches that have been studied as ways to apply ways to problem solving. There are many views of problem solving, but problem solving is a cognitive approach. Sometimes the way we define the problem, the way we analyze the problem, the alternative solutions we look at, how we think about those processes affect problem solving. When we understand ways we solve problems, it's a way to explain. It's a way to describe phenomena. And problem solving, it's always good to have a goal you want to accomplish and what you need to do to work towards that goal and the choices you have available. There are two authorities by the names of Adams and Galanes. They described, ways we behave when we are solving problems, particularly in groups. One, sometimes it's good in problem solving to identify each member's their concern is. And that's good. When you are solving a problem, identify each member's concern. Number two, you should identify that concern before you analyze the problem. In problem analysis, it's good to know the specific condition that you desire. It's also good to be able to define and agree on the goals and the nature of the problem solving. It's good to have not just opinions or inferences. It's good to deal with issues of facts, issues of values when it comes to problem solving. Adams and Galanes further state that to solve a problem, have a criteria. What's the desired outcome? When you engage or when we engage in effective problem solving, it allows us sometimes to be able to predict. It allows us to arrive at consensus. It allows us to know the plans we need to implement the solutions. And problem solving works well when it is systematic and when it is orderly. There are many difficulties when it comes to problems. Sometimes there are generational differences. In some cultures, the older you are, you are considered the jewel. So generational differences is good to think about the ways cultures have been transmitted from one generation to the next. So generational differences should not affect problem solving. Problem solving is also about values, If I value what I cherish, what I desire, sometimes that's gonna affect how I solve a problem. Problems happen in relationships, sometimes marriage issues, family issues, misery, separation, people around feeling negatively, unhappiness. So problems happen. Psychologically, there are approaches to solving problems. One is to think about how we behave, to think about how we think, to think about how we feel as we heal and as we grow. When we consider family functioning, that's a way to get rid of, some of the problems. And how do we deal with relational and family functioning? We look at the relationship between the individual and the group. We look at the relational, the ethical, the way decisions are made, and the relationship between mind and body, whether we are being or whether we are becoming. So relationships in families are subsystems that help to solve many relational problems. Another view of problem solving is problem solving in organizations. And there are many approaches to solving problems in organizations, but three of them I'll talk about. One is the reflective problem solution approach that was developed by John Dewey. John Dewey said, a way to develop or the ways we go through as we think about problems. Number one, define the problem. What's the history of the problem? What's the symptoms of the problem? What's the causes of the problem? What's the causes of the causes of the problem? First, define the problem. Then step two, analyze the problem. Problem analysis involves the 5 W's. Who, what, where, when, why. Then step 3, from analysis, look at the alternative solutions. Which solutions will work well? List them down. And from the alternative solutions, choose the best solution. That's one way reflective problem solving works in organizations. Without problem definition, solution options may not be valuable in some cases. Another way problems are solved in organizations is what's called the nominal group technique that was developed by D.Ed. It's a way groups function when they are solving problems. Basically, you introduce the groups, then you generate, the problem ideas, then each individual will brainstorm and you rank the problems in order of importance. And as you rank the problems, you generate solutions. and that's the nominal group technique. The Delphi technique, if I have 4 experts I work with, I, as the leader, can delegate responsibility regardless of location. You define the problem, you analyze the problem, you come up, you delegate not necessarily problem solving, but many aspects of work. That's the Delphi technique. So those are approaches to problem solving in relational and organizational. When problems are effectively solved, it creates profitability in relationships. It creates profitability in organizations. There are many ways problems are solved, but professionally it's good to remain objective. Examine all the options. Know the obstacles. What prevents the accomplishment of the problem. My business sense teaches me identify the opportunity sometimes when it comes to problem solving. And it's good to research what has been done, what has been studied when it comes to problem solving. And it's good to deal with open-minded people. So, to apply problem solving, think about this. List 2 or 3 problems you may have. Then after you list those 3 problems, think about how you feel about each of those problems. And from the 3 problems you've listed and stated how you feel, think about the possibilities. Take the first one. What's the possibility? Take the next one. And what are the possibilities? And state how you feel. And that's an approach to ways to think about problem solving. Understanding the problem solving process is important. Sometimes it prevents from not having a good night's sleep. It's good to know that we all face problems, family problems, organizational problems. It's good to know that as humans, we should be flexible when it comes to problem solutions. And some, practice yoga, Think about how you reflect on defining the problem, on your analysis of the problem, how you think about your options and the best option. Sometimes the best problem remains on how we think about it, how we reflect about it. And most times, regardless of the problem, the reflective stage, what I learned from the problem, what I will do differently, that's important. So that's the lesson for problem solving for today from Alusine Multicultural Family Consulting. As always, I thank you for listening, and these are issues of concern, not just to me, but to you and me. So may God bless you, and stay happy in families, stay happy in organizations. Thank you.